Good morning, CLC. Thank you, Brian Schwanitz, and thank you, Jeffrey Oshman, for that beautiful song. I saw a number of people enjoy that, so just wanted to pass that along to you guys, saying they love that song, and you guys did a great job. So thank you for that. Right now, I invite everyone to put your day and week that you've had aside. Put all the days and weeks that you have coming up aside. Allow yourself to relax in this moment. Allow your mind to relax and be here now. Universal love enfolds me. Universal wisdom inspires me. Universal spirit enlightens me. Universal power encircles me. I am one, and all is well. As we begin this inner healing process, I invite you now to relax in the quiet confidence, opening yourself to the miracle-working higher power. Now symbolize the unity of your thinking and feeling nature by touching your chest with your right hand, and let my words act as your own for your own inner healing, acceptance, and receptivity. I acknowledge that there is a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own. I am in the midst of it, and it is in the midst of me, sensitive and responsive to our every thought, word, action, and feeling. I now make this true for myself by saying aloud, I acknowledge. Acknowledging the higher power working through my life, I admit that I am personally responsible for solving my own problems while being guided and assisted by something greater than myself. As I am ready to surrender the conflicts of my ego to the wisdom of the infinite presence, I simply speak these words. I surrender. Knowing that forgiveness is the key to unconditional love and the feeling of heaven, I now unconditionally forgive anyone and everyone who has ever injured me in any way, real or imagined. And I now forgive myself for all my mistaken judgments and their resulting actions. From my deepest level of understanding, I now say, I forgive. Realizing that I continually experience the effects of my own thinking, I now choose to allow this higher power to recreate me deeply, filling my mind with thoughts that are only constructive, positive, loving, and beautiful. I call upon this divine inflow by stating aloud, I choose. I now center upon that one special idea that I'm willing to accept as real for me in this coming week. Visualizing the idea as already acted upon and brought to pass. In seeing my idea become a fact of my experience, I enjoy the happiness and peace of my thought fulfilled, and gratefully speak these words, I accept. Knowing that I have an everlasting place in the midst of the power that sustains all creation, as well as the support of all those around me, I allow myself to relax in the peace of fulfillment and gratitude and say, I release. Now, in my mind's eye, I envision the presence of someone near and dear to me. This could be a friend, a family member, a teacher or mentor, someone who has touched my life in powerful and loving ways. Someone who may not be physically present with me in the room. I turn toward that image in my mind's eye and say, I am grateful for the good in your life. Now I open my eyes to the world around me, turn joyfully to anyone who may be present with me. If not, turn joyfully to all those virtually present with me. And I share gratitude and confidence by saying, I am grateful for all the good in all of your lives.
Good morning. Despite what you may have heard, it's not more fun or easier without you here. We're not having an absolutely wonderful time, isn't that right? Let's all look a little glum for a moment. No, we're having as good a time as we could possibly have without all of you here. Let's put it that way. And we don't know exactly when we're going to be back in the room together, but for now, just know you're in our hearts. And I was thinking too about how this is a portable now, it's a subjective now that we're in. You know, there was a time when things happened in the now, in the world, and they couldn't be recorded in the ways they can be now. And I'm saying what I'm saying, these words, at 13 minutes after 11 a.m. Central Time, USA. And maybe you're watching live or you're going to watch at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And if you're seeing this now at 3 o'clock this afternoon, then it's now for you. And I'm saying these things now, in that same now. Although at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'll be maybe finishing lunch or working on a class for next week or something. So when is now? Well, it's all subjective to the beholding consciousness. Everything is subjective to the beholding consciousness. So what I would like everyone to do today, and I'm going to assume that you're willing because this is where you are watching us, is I would like you to feel as though there is a presence right where you are that's healing you. That's healing you, restoring you to wholeness in body, mind, and soul. And if there's not a thing you can think of that could use healing in your life, then know that there's someone you love who does have something, and someone they love, and a society in which we're all contained, where there's a healing going on, a restoration of wholeness. So I was thinking about today and this series on healing, and healing as revealing wholeness, when I get an email from Reverend Marcia Lehman telling me that she and David Dewhurst are starting a new class called what? Revealing Wholeness. It's just been created apparently by our home office, and so they're going to roll that out in July. But you don't have to wait to reveal wholeness. You can reveal wholeness in your life right now. That's what healing to us is in this science. It's a revelation of something that already exists. It's not simply an emergency response. Let's think for a moment about ambulances. Ambulances sit at fire stations. They sit in the ER driveway or the ER carport thing. I can't think of the word for it. And they sit there and they wait for a call. And should the need arise and somebody's injured, somebody falls seriously enough ill that they need to be carried to a hospital, the ambulance swings into action and off it goes. And I think a lot of times we think of spiritual healing as being a spiritual ambulance that comes from somewhere else, here, rushes here to repair us, and then when it's done, it goes back to where it came from. That's better than not thinking there's any healing agency at all. But here's something better still, and that is to consider that there's healing in the air that you're breathing right now. There's healing in the room in which you sit. There's healing going on in your body right now of things that you might not even consider needed. There are processes and functions happening all around you that are invisible for the most part, and they're on all the time. And even the ambulance that comes out of the hospital or the fire station and rushes to where somebody needs them, it's staffed by people who have been training and who are prepared and who are ready to go. It's not just a spontaneous thing. Healing is not just a spontaneous thing. Healing is a process into which we move. It's a river into which we step. It's occurring all the time. Right now, as I'm standing here, there are things happening in my body that I don't even know about, that are knitting things back together, and there are restorations of wholeness and a cleansing and so forth occurring in you as you sit there. And as you got up this morning, you did so from a good night's sleep, and in your sleep, your brain was resting. Maybe you had some dreams, or maybe you didn't, but it was gearing up for the day to come. And you were digesting your food, and you were circulating your blood, and your heart was beating, and all of these processes were well underway as you were going forward in your day. That's a healing. And things that were not necessary for you to have were lifted from you, and better things for you to have were brought to you. And that's largely about physical healing, but consider social healing as well. People move into your life, people bring you information. David and Marcia come up with this class, with the same name as what I'm thinking about talking about today. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but it's a confirmation, it's a validation of some sort that there's one mind and we're all in it, and that mind is working beautifully and wonderfully together. We're getting pieces of information now that we don't need right now, but we can set them aside till we do. We can store them up. We're learning how to be with people we haven't met yet. We're learning how to have conversations that aren't needed yet. Healing is sometimes proactive, preparatory for what's to come. All of this comes under the heading of healing, including the stuff that looks like it's damage. Things that come in that look like, well, now, either this is I don't know, dangerous to me, or this is at least random to me, is a piece in a puzzle that I haven't seen the picture of yet. I haven't seen the complete finished image. It hasn't come into view. But when I bless, when I consecrate this experience as part of a future healing need, it turns into that. We have way more power than we thought we did. The power of consciousness is immense. You might even say it's infinite. But right where you are and right where I am, the use we make of it is immense. We have the power to kill or cure. We have the power to bless or condemn. We have the power with every passing thought, every emerging feeling. We have the power to do something that is creative, that is responsive, that is useful to our greater good and the greater good of the world around us. Everything that we think, everything that we feel, goes into a collective memory bank, if you will, that others can draw from, just as everything that has come before us can be drawn on by us. This is the power of consciousness, and what it takes to step into this power and use this power is principally the recognition that there is such a power, that this power exists and it's there for you. And you have its full attention. I love this. Fredrick Bales talks about this in the book we're talking about this month, called Healing the Incurable, which is made up of a number of smaller booklets of his. He says, you have Spirit's full attention. It's not waiting someplace for you to call on it, and then it turns around, oh yeah, who is that again? Oh yeah, I remember you. And then we go through this thing about, so where have you been? Haven't seen you around lately. You haven't been praying much. Have you been attending a spiritual center? Have you been doing spiritual work? Well, come back when you have. No, that's not how Spirit operates. We have its full attention constantly. It is fully present right where you are. You heard us tie ourselves in knots last week when we were trying to figure out who came up with that statement that God or Spirit is a circle whose center is everywhere, whose circumference is nowhere. We've had people, Lisa and Danielle and I have had people weighing in all week with, well, I think it was so-and-so, and I think it was so-and-so. And it keeps getting backdated and stuff, and we came up with a French mystic from the 12th century who we think has it now, but who knows for sure. The point is the point. The point is that you are the point. You are the point of the focal point of infinite intelligence as the center of that circle. You have its full attention. You have its full capability. The power is on. The power is on right where you are now. Good. Now, what use will you make of it? What use will I make of it? By turning my thought in a certain direction toward that which I prefer, I activate this power in a specific way in my life, and I get it to work toward my healing and toward the healing of those who participate in the conversation with me. People who ask for healing, the people who I love, by focusing on what I would prefer to have instead of this. See, most of the time we don't do that. If my knee hurts, I pay attention to the knee. Whoa, my knee hurts. And you know what we do typically? If my knee has hurt a lot before, and it hasn't, I'm using this as an example. Thank you, knee. You've been a great knee all these years. Both of you, actually. You're terrific. I love you, you know? But let's just say, for example, my knee hurts. Where do I go with that? One of the places is, if this has happened before, if this is what's called a chronic condition, then I go, oh, here we go again. Is it getting better or is it getting worse? Is this going to lead to something else that's going to be more dramatic? And if this is the first time my knee's ever hurt, what we tend to do oftentimes is we'll say to it, is this the start of trouble? Is this just a momentary knee pain, or is this the beginning of a long list of possible conditions that I might be falling into? It has our full attention, right then, the knee. And so maybe we do something about it allopathically. We take a pill, we rub something on it, we get a knee brace or what have you, and then, it stops hurting. We tend not to notice when it stopped hurting. Then it's just gone back to being taken for granted, hasn't it? And this is what we do with our bodies generally. Proactive healing would be bless your knees before you need to, right? Bless your body before you need to. Bless your body, thank your body. This is a great body. I love the body. Scripture talks about the body as being a temple. So many different world faith traditions celebrate the body as being the habitation of the gods. Made in the image and likeness, we are. Made in the image and likeness. And yet a lot of times we're looking out of our eyes, listening through our ears. We're out there in the world and not noticing what's going on here. Bless your body before you have to. Will this keep you absolutely free of any kind of physical condition? I can't promise you that. But it will keep you freer. It will keep you better if you bless your body. If you bless your money. If you bless your money before you run out of money. Say, oh no, I'm running out of money. What am I going to do? And then we project out into the future. What if I run out of, I sell off everything I have and I don't have a nickel in the world. And all of a sudden our money has got our attention. When our jobs are threatened, our career has our attention. When our partner says we need to talk, then our relationship has our attention. Bless these things, be present in these things, in your relationships, in your career, in your financial life, in the way you interact with the world before there's a problem that calls your attention to it. And can I promise you that you'll never have a glitch, you'll never have any kind of a hiccup in any of these things? No, I cannot. But what I can tell you is they'll work better. They'll work better because you'll be in alignment with a universal flow of creativity that is seeking expression through you. The purpose of your life and my life is greater than just personal individuality. It is the experience, as we say, this is almost a mantra around here, it is the experience that Spirit is having in this world at this time by means of you. By means of you. And so we look to a divine pattern, and that was actually the title today. And these talks do have titles. Lisa asked me for this so she can put them up on the Facebook. Adapting to the divine pattern. Okay, briefly, here's how that works. There is a divine pattern of wholeness. And sometimes I may not conform to that. I conform to the things of this world. But a wise saying is, be not conformed to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means to be less conformed anyway to the opinions of this world, to the belief in, as Emma Hopkins put it, sin, sickness, and death. How's that for a life path? Sin, sickness, death. You know? No. How about I conform myself to a divine pattern of intelligence which has in exuberance created me in form in this life for the purpose of it having an experience of itself through me. And I conform myself not simply by declaration, commitment, signing a form, saying I'm in. No, I conform myself in the way of examining my thoughts and my feelings in the moment, one by one, each by each, seeing how all of this threads together. Am I living as though I believe in such a power? Am I talking as though I believe in such a power? Am I acting toward other people as though I believe in such a power as being present? And this I examine, and I examine, and I examine. And when I find that I've moved off course, and I've temporarily forgotten who I am, or I've forgotten that there is such a power, because I'm looking at turmoil in my life or the world's life, when I discover that I've forgotten momentarily who I am, I forgive myself and I recommit, and I go back to that. And the recommitment happens in a seamless and beautiful way, and the returning to that happens in such a way as it's like the prodigal son parable, where it's like I never left. And Spirit doesn't say, well, you know, you blew it that time, and you've only got so many more chances. No, each time it's a refresh, a complete refresh. Each time it's a complete return. Because this principle, that is this divine pattern of intelligence and wholeness and so on and so forth, has given us complete freedom to think or feel any way we want. Which is why you see so many people exercising that freedom and thinking in diverse ways and feeling in diverse ways, and we try to bring them all together to feel the same way. But that is counter, if you will, to the idea of the freedom that we all have to experience and express in our own way, make our own mistakes, learn from them, and learn from them. Everybody should think and feel in such a way as to not be of harm to anyone else. But if somebody wants to have low self-esteem, as much as I might encourage them not to and give them all kinds of evidence why they don't have to, sometimes you just need to sit with low self-esteem until you don't. Sometimes you just need to sit in anger until you get to where you need to be. And we want to go around and jolly each other up. And that's fine, because that's, compassionate and we care. But we get what we get in such a way as we get it. And Spirit won't interfere with us. It won't come to us and try to move us around in certain ways. It acts instead very subtly. It gives us a sunrise like the one this morning. It gives us a sunset like the one last night. It gives us rainbows in the sky. It gives us all the things that Brian just sang about Louis Armstrong too. Except right now, handshakes. But it gives us all of this stuff. And it says, like I said last week, quoting scripture, it says, look unto me. Look unto me. I stand and go, I'm not worthy, and there's the sunset. There's this beautiful sky. Or these rain clouds that we get in this part of the country, when a storm is coming up. It's just magnificent, the power, the presence, It gives us this. It gives us the smiles of other people. It gives us the people around us that support us and help us, and are supported and are helped by us. It gives us these subtle signs. It says when you're ready to stop feeling sorry for yourself, I'm here. When you're ready to look up, I'm here. When you're ready to take up your divine inheritance and use your spiritual power, I'm here. And I will provide to you, says Spirit, countless ways for your healing. I'll provide overtly spiritual ways, which look like just intuitive things come to you. Your heart sings, your spirit lifts. I'll provide to you practical allopathic ways, like an ambulance if you need it, medicine if you need it. We were talking about this in class the other day. Medicine is God. Doctors are God. Nurses are God. The whole structure of healthcare is God. Could it be different? Could it be better? Could it be this and this? Always. So could everything. Everything is in a process of revealing wholeness, including organizations, But all of it is there for your benefit. All of it is there. And you have the full attention of the provider of all of this, the creator of all of this, in whatever you're doing. So take advantage of all of it. Something is only not, this is like a triple negative I'm trying to put out here. Something is only not of God in appearance if you decide that about it. And if you decide that about it, then what's happened is you've set it outside the circle of your own ability to influence it. And see, if instead you say, I don't like this, I think this is wrong, I think this should change, and this was made by the same creative mind that made the thing I think should be in its place, then you gathered it in close. And now you have the ability to affect it by your love. This is why we include everything. This is why I believe in a God who created everything, including all the stuff I don't like. Because if that God, if that creative spirit didn't create that stuff, then what did? Then all of a sudden my God is half the picture. Or less, Then all of a sudden you have all of these competing powers out there, and like, which one's the right one? Or can I make a deal with all of them? Or can I play? Have you ever watched Survivor on TV? It's crazy. I've sat through a few episodes of it, and the alliances that these people make, and the way there's $1 million at the end of the game for the winner, but they lie to each other, they cheat each other, they stab each other in the back, making these kinds of alliances to try to navigate their way through to get the thing that they think they want. Sometimes we think we have to do that in society, and we think we have to do that with a competing variety of spiritual principles. No, it's simpler than that. It's better than that. Everybody wins in the end. Everybody gets exactly who they are in the end. At the end of the process. Not the end of the game, because the game never ends. But at the end of the process, at the end of each journey of discovery, we're enriched. We're better off than we were, because there's one power. So this week, I'd love to hear from you about blessing your knees. I'd love to hear from you about blessing your body, blessing your mind, blessing the work that you do. You have the power to bless. You have the power to sanctify. You have the power to uplift, built right into you. And watch what's happening in the culture. I don't have to tell you, this is an amazing time. An amazing time to be a godling on this earth. What a privilege we have to help heal this earth at this time through each of us. So I thank you for your kind attention. And I invite you now just to join me in knowing this, that there is one life, one power, one presence, pure spirit, everywhere manifest, everywhere radiant, In the sunset, in the sunrise, in the beauty of the day, the beauty of the season, and in this next few days, so we move from spring to summer. In these next few days, as we celebrate the change in the world, in these next few days as we celebrate freedom and like the Juneteenth holiday coming up, freedom isn't fully present till we know it is. Till it's been announced to us, perhaps by another voice, but always in our own soul. We know we are free, and we have no master. Spirit is not the master of it. We are not its puppets. Instead, there is a universal intelligence, a universal love energy, a loving kindness in which we find our freedom. And we claim it within by realizing that we have the right to speak our word in faith believing. We have the right to decree a thing and see it established unto us. We have the right, we have the power. Now that we know this, we use this power. We use it wisely and well. We refuse to judge or condemn or blame. We know that every godling around us is on a journey of self-discovery as well. And we support one another in getting there. So that from there, from that place of discovery, a new journey can begin, and so on forever. World without end. For this knowing, for the power of love to heal and reveal, I am so deeply grateful. I release this word now into the creative law of that one life, that one power, that one presence that is fully present, right where I am, right where each one of us is. I let it be so, and so it is.
So with that, I invite everyone now to join me in saying, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. I am prosperous now, and so it is.
Thank you. I've never heard that song before, and now I want to go look it up and listen to it a lot. I will tell you that the difference between a wildflower and a weed is your perspective. And you are all wildflowers. So, and I want to give a shout out to our live watchers, because I'm watching you guys communicate with each other. And when we started this is what I hoped would happen. We had somebody who was new, and before we had a chance to say welcome, 2 or 3 other people online said, "Hey, welcome, glad to have you here." So you guys are awesome. But it is time for us to let you go today, and hope that you'll come back as often as you like. So I encourage you to take that nice deep breath. Breathe in what you have heard today. Breathe in the idea that healing is in the air, that healing is in the room with you. Breathe in the idea that you are a wildflower, that you are wild and free. And know there is one life, one power, one presence, one love. And as I am a part of that love, so too do I know that each and every one of you are a part of that love. It flows through us, in us, as us. And as it flows through us, it changes the world around us. In that love, anything is possible. And I know this from that place, the temple of the Most High, that place that I go to meet God, that place where Spirit flows through me. And I am grateful. I am grateful for you. I am grateful for this team here. I am grateful for the wisdom of our senior minister, Reverend Jesse. I am grateful for the amazing musicians who keep showing up, knowing that there's only going to be a couple of people to clap for them. And I am just grateful. I am grateful to be here now. And I release my word into law, knowing it is done even as I speak these words. Be free. And so it is.
Say with me now, something wonderful is happening through me.
Something wonderful is happening through me.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my mind.
I feel it in my mind.
I feel it in everything I am.
I feel it in everything I am.
I choose it.
I choose
I
it.
trust it.
I trust it.
I use it.